guys. So I just thought I'd turn this on. En route to Siberia right now. About 100 miles out. So I should be there. Probably can see what it is time is right now. You can still see there's some sunlight out there. So the evening should be coming on. I should be arriving there probably about maybe half hour, maybe 5 minutes after sundown. Let me see if I can get the comments thing going. There we go. Hey, someone's there. Hey. I wanted to turn this on and let you guys know that an announcement, something new in the world for my little world, and that is that yesterday I debuted my new website, the book Rain Alone. I don't have a copy with me, otherwise I'd show it to you. But the book's been out since December 19th, 2017 that I released it. The book was, let's see, gosh, it's been 3 to 5 years in the making. Depends on what I count, how much I count the early work in Japan. And that was a long time coming. And since releasing it, however, I found that I had to go through many iterations of revisions to get it to the point that I was really satisfied with it. And it's fine. It's pretty much at that point now. Although there'll probably still be some more changes that'll come along. But I'm pretty satisfied with this. So I decided that it needed a home on the internet. So I decided to go ahead and create a web. That website has a URL. It's goingalone.org. And the purpose and the motivation of the website to do in the first case, I wanted to have a place where the book can be read online for free. The hard copy and electronic copy that are available from Amazon are as free as I can make. The price is about $6.30 for the hard copy, about $2 something for the electronic copy. The two one is actually makes a little bit of a problem, but that basically just covers the price that Amazon reduced the book. So I'm basically long-winded way I'm saying I'm not making any money on it. It wasn't my intent to make any money on it, but I really wanted to make it free, so as free as I could. So I created the site, the website goingalone.org, and the centerpiece of the site is the actual book itself. So if you go there, you'll see that there's the actual book link, and then if you click on that, there's the chapters all laid out. And you can click on them and go through them one by one. Hold on. There we go. So that's there now. There's more to it, and I wanted. That was the centerpiece. That's really all I was after, was just a site where the book could be there. And I could reference it to people, anybody that contacted me and I wanted to share it with them. I could just say, go to goingalone.net and goingalone.org, sorry, and there it would be. But I found that there were other features there that I found interesting. For example, there was a blog, and there was a calendar, and plus some really interesting functionalities that I thought could be helpful. So I've gone ahead and built out some of that as well. Of particular interest is the calendar, where I can be sharing events that are coming up. Now, the events that I'm going to be doing are basically book readings. Excuse me. And the way that will take place is that I'm going to... Oh, there's somebody about losing their shopping cart out there. The way that will take place is that I'm going to read select snippets from the various chapters, and then talk about those and kind of share a little bit about the motivation and the meaning that I had in each of those. And then I'm going to upload those to my YouTube channel and bring that through here. So I'll be having these lives and then reading a bit and talking about it a little bit. And then uploading that and adding that onto the website. Kind of like the way that I do that with the meditation videos that I make. So, and then there's a list on YouTube where I have all of those out. Likewise, I'll have a playlist for each of what is it, 7 chapters. And then I'll have those events, scheduling them about once a month right now. Although I don't think I'm going to start doing it in a more impromptu manner. You can start the video up any something go over a bit. Is mostly broken into two. The function is exposition chapter. For example, of an embarrassing title. I'm still my muse works. It opens with a quote from, and then leads in with a couple paragraphs describing. It's from my muse. It's from my muse, basically snippets that are just added together. There's a little tilde thing between each one of them. That in prose, of course, is typical in a book, and I give it kind of a different, so you kind of know you're in a different part of the. And then the from my muse part, and sorry, the waitress is going by. So it's those little bits, that little notes from my muse part. That's the part I'll be reading and talking about. Put on my glasses and start typing away. And it's labored like anything else, and it's a effort that goes through revisions. And I'll write it for a little while, and then I'll come back. Well, I'll come back and read it again, and then write it, and that goes on. Consider the notes from a different source. It's more like my food. So,
are you ready?
Oh, we are, yes. All right, thank you. Well, that was good fries.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
And can I get you any Cholula or Tabasco for you? You're good.
Yes, please. That'd be good. The Tabasco would be fine. More coffee?
Of course, I'll be right back with
Thank you.
Some more dessert.
In case you guys are wondering where I am, I'm in Barstow, California, on my way to the desert. To Siberia. As I said when I first started, the helmet's right here. My backpack. Like a lot like breakfast, but it's actually my dinner's right there. I got the ham and cheese omelet with French fries, and then some sourdough toast. And I'm just gonna bring some other goodies. Now, the thing is doing its little cycle thing, so I hope it's gonna be okay. So I like to get fries with it. Isn't that a strange thing? Hopefully that'll be good. So that part, excuse the hair. It's the helmet that does that. It kind of makes it like that. Excuse me while I eat a little bit. There we go. So that notes from my muse part, I can't compose that. This is kind of sound a little iffy, kind of like I'm moving into spiritual areas, which I'm not into. It's not like it's a motivation from, I call it muse, but I don't believe there is a muse. I don't believe there's any spiritual motivation that comes over me that helps to inspire my writing. I believe it's the muse is just a consequence of circumstances. Ah, great. Perfect.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy, sir.
Thank you. The muse is just it's like being in the right place at the right time. It's like rain. Rain is a consequence of environmental circumstances, humidity, atmosphere, things like that, wind, temperature, that cause rain to happen. Water precipitates out of the air. Likewise for me, there are some types of writing, some words that come only through some certain circumstances. And those circumstances are typically type out there towards Siberia. And in the moments that I lead up, that I'm anticipating that lead up to that, I also can bring up the muse. And so each of that's how the chapters of the book arose. Because while I was out there in the desert and doing these types of things, and I'm writing those kind of, how do you describe it? It's kind of almost a impromptu writing. You just kind of feel it come over you. Pick out a few words. And those words, and post it. I would post it on the softypapa Facebook page. And what I noticed was that over time, there was a theme emerging. Several themes. Themes of the desert, the indifference out there, of going alone. Themes of my thoughts about religion and theology. And I began to give those, so I began to kind of hashtag those posts with particular hashtags that represented whatever that theme was. And that's how the chapters of the book came together. I realized after a while I had quite a collection of themed writing. And I thought, hey, it's got the makings of a book. So that's what I made. Now those notes from my muse, they're a type of writing that I would say is categorized as very much an emulation of my heroes, which were the 19th century, excuse my eating in front of you, the 19th century writers of the dark romance or the transcendental situation, mainly in New England, mid-19th century. Henry David Thoreau, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Nathaniel Hawthorne, Herman Melville, and the like. They had kind of a writing style that was just so fluid and beautiful and just evocative of emotions and such incredible vocabulary. I can't say that I can't hold a candle to them in terms of their vocabulary or even their writing style, but they are my inspiration. They are my muse in a way. If you go out and check out goingalone.org and look at that, because I italicize that, and then compare that to like the House of the Seven Gables, you'll note the similarity. I'm emulating them. Although I missed the mark by about 150 years. Unlike my hero Henry David Thoreau, I was not born, as he said, in the nick of time for the flowering of New England. So I missed that. That's okay. I'm happy to be living where I am now. The flowering of the the post-information age. So anyway, rewind a little bit. I'm on my way to the desert. Thought I'd stop, turn the camera on while I have my dinner, before I jump out to the deep desert, and share with you the debut of goingalone.org. Now, if you go over there to the website, that's my new home. I have a new email address over there, softypapa@goingalone.org. That's going to be my main email address from now on. The dinner at the river at gmail.com and the softypapa@gmail.com are probably going to more and more just be ignored and disappear. And all things will be going alone.
How are we doing over here? Good? All right.
Thank you. No. It may seem, just a second, it may seem that I'm constraining myself, limiting my web presence to the Going Alone brand. And I thought that was the case initially when I started the sequel book, which is called The Good Life, because there's a chapter in the book Going On called The Good Life, and I decided to break that out into a separate book. And I thought that The Good Life would be the overarching theme. starting to realize, no, that's not the case. Going Alone is self-contained. It includes The Good Life. And it is the recognition of what if I can, for lack of a better, I don't have better grammar, I don't have better vocabulary to describe what I've discovered in the desert that is the main thing. The discovery of what I call the great indifference is the primary thrust of this thing. The Good Life is just a response. So Going Alone should be the central theme, and that's what it will be. So goingalone.org is my home. In some ways, this kind of reminds me, it's kind of reminiscent of the website that was created for me by Peter Martin and Black Hat. Both were helpful in that years ago, that had a lot of these same functions, the blog and the like, and I really do appreciate what they did. Technology is very good. So I engineered this thing to run without me. What I mean by that is the revenue that comes in from the YouTube channels all filters into one account. I've got 20 different YouTube channels, and each of them filters in a little bit of a stream of money, some to a greater or lesser degree. All that money funnels into one account. Any money that comes from the book sales, not so much now, but if I actually make it a for-profit affair, also goes into that account. All the website, server, domain, email, inbox, all those costs come out of that account. So it's kind of a self, perpetuating deal. The money comes in from YouTube and the book sales and pays for the server. So I can check out anytime. We'll continue on. Well, of course, something will eventually break, right? That's why I give out as many books as I can. I always keep a stack of them in the back of the bike, and likely locations. I'll leave a copy of Going Alone. You get the feel sometimes that this might be a good place. Or there's been a few times I've given people explicitly the book. People who engage me, see me out like this, and waiters or waitresses that talk to me and ask me questions, and ask some pointed questions that reveal, they may be of this tribe. I'll give them a copy. I imagine that the vast majority of those handout books will wind up in a rubbish heap. But my hope is just maybe once or twice, maybe will wind up in the hands of potentially a young man or woman like I was when I was about 15 or so, when librarian at school, after she had, not librarian, teacher had assigned us, English teacher had assigned us to read The Call of the Wild by Jack London. And I'd gone to her after class and told her how touched I was by the story, especially by the sense of wilderness and the experience of man and beast in the wild. She took a moment from her time, from her lessons, and after class, and walked me to the library. And I remember her searching through the stacks looking for a copy of Walden by Thoreau. Gave that to me to check out. And she said, "Here, read this." And that is the book that changed my life. That's the book that launched me on all this adventuring. Pardon me. Of course, I couldn't understand the book at the time. Like I said, that dark romance writing style of the transcendentalists and those authors was beyond me. Those paragraph-long sentences and just those incredible vocabulary. I bought a big dictionary. I didn't buy it actually. My mom and dad had it. I got this big red dictionary, and I kept it by my side. And I made a point that every time I ran across a word in there, I looked it up and marked it. And that's how I gained whatever vocabulary I have. Because at that age, 15 or so, it sticks. My goal now is to pay that forward, insofar as the book that I wrote, Going Alone, is the consequence of that adventure that teacher sent me on, to finding and giving me a copy of Walden. So I give out these books, and the proceeds, they go in account, they help go towards the purchase, because I can buy the books off of Amazon and they come out of that same account. So it's like this self-perpetuating cycle. It's great satisfaction in doing this. Heck of a lot of fun, even if it is kind of self-promoting. But hey, if you ain't got nothing to say, you know, I mean, what more are we gonna say? I mean, if you want to try to do something good in the world, and you think you got something worthwhile to say, so what if it came from you? You know, I'm gonna share it. Like Thoreau said, I wouldn't talk so much about myself if there were anybody else I knew so well. But sun's going down. Look at that. I think it's time for me to sign off, finish my meal, and get out to Siberia. So I hope you have all. I'm sorry if I didn't see any comments come up, so I don't know if anybody's making any. I just didn't push the button right. Thank you for joining me, those of you who did, and those who might come later. And there'll be more videos coming from Siberia. Of course, I can't do this in Siberia. There's not near the bandwidth. But you all take care. Have a great day, and remember, be safe, but not too safe. Oh, go over and check out goingalone.org. And if you like, add your email address to the mailing list, and I'll send you updates about things. And go over to the blog too, and feel free to read the blog. And there's a forum too. Join the forum and add some posts. I added a few categories, but let me know if you're interested. I think it's going to be a fun place. I plan to live there, so to speak. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.